And we have an update. Things are rolling right along. Okay, so I told you last time that we were waiting for that I-800 to come back and that it was delayed. They told us it was going to be like another 2 to 4 weeks. Well, it came. It finally came. So this all happened last week. We got the I-800. And then after the I-800, we were told that we'd have to wait another 7 to 14 days before we got an email from the National Embassy Center. Sorry, from the National Visa Center. And this was, once we got that email, then we could file the DS-260. So, lots of terms there. What does that all mean? Okay, so first of all, just to recap, we filed our I-800A. The I-800A is us petitioning the U.S. government to be able to adopt a child from a foreign country. So we got that approval. Then we had to file the I-800. The I-800 essentially, it's so like convoluted. Welcome to government, right? The I-800 essentially is an application asking permission to be able to put in an application to apply for a visa. So, anyways, you can see right here, I'll cover things up. Here's the application right here. See, that's the I-800. We got this back. So this is our approval to be able to file the application. Well, okay, so we got our email back from the U.S. Embassy Center, and that basically says, "Dear," in this case, Marlene Willard, "we recently received your approved I-800 petition for," insert child's name here, "your case number, blah, 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 your invoice ID number is blah, blah, blah. We sent your case to the U.S. Embassy or consulate listed below." So it is an embassy that is in the country where you're adopting, in this case, Bogota, Colombia. This is where the adoption interview will take place. Okay, so what that means is once we get to Colombia, we will then have an interview there at the embassy. They will then, once we go through the interview, they will then approve us for the visa. But before that, we have to fill out what is called the DS-260 form. The DS-260 form is the actual application for the visa. So that's why I say this I-800 was the application to get approved, to get the email, right, to get approved, to be able to fill out the actual application for the visa. All right, so we have filled out the DS-260. That is on its way, and it will be around 2 weeks before we hear back from them with our approval for that. The approval from that is called an Article 5. When you get that Article 5, then that means your adoption agency can say, okay, they have everything that they need. They're approved for everything. They're approved for the visa, everything is done. That means that they can communicate with the agency or the group in the country that you are applying to for adoption. In this case, of course, Colombia. So we would be talking with ICBF. ICBF, again, is Colombia's version of Child Protective Services here, CPS. So then they will be able to set up our encuentro date. Encuentro means meet date. That's the day that we will meet or pick up posse. So once we get the Article 5, then it's about 2 to 4 weeks before we get our encuentro date. So it's things are close. I think we're looking at a minimum of 3 weeks before we'd be heading out and a maximum of 6 weeks. As long as things go all right, as long as there's not some like crazy delay, which can always happen. Like, things were just super slowed down U.S. government side or slowed down on the Colombian government side, or Colombia will often close down for certain holidays. And when they do that, nothing happens. So we'll just see how it goes. So I want to talk to you just for a second about timing. Timing is difficult because when it comes to you and your adoption, some things you can look at and say, okay, we have these things going on in our life. Can we kind of time things for this adoption around those things? Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. So then you have to be flexible. So what I mean by that is, so my husband, he's in the military. Some military things, he can't just go to his bosses and be like, hey, peace out, I got an adoption to do. They're going to be like, you can't just leave for at that time. You can't leave for that length of time, or there's this happening. So that means either he's got to try and work with them and, work something out, or you've got to try and work out something with the adoption agency. It can get sticky either way. When it gets sticky, that means sometimes you've then got to go to your adoption agency and say, well, there's no way this has come up. There's no way that he can get off. So then they have to go to Colombia and say, well, the dad, or even the mom can't get off. There's this thing going on with their work. So then the country looks at their, their calendar and they say, oh, well, we wanted you to come out in 2 weeks, but, because of things going on, this and this and this, it's going to be another 3 months before we can get you out here. So that's hard. That's really hard to have to wait that long, but sometimes that's how it has to go. So in our case, we're looking at, we kind of have this little window where my husband can go, between like now and when another school is starting for his military career. He's got to be back before that school starts. So we're really hoping that there aren't any further delays. There's also the issue of Stephanie and her school. She's still in school. So she has about 4.5 weeks of school left. If we leave in 3 weeks, she's going to miss the last week and a half of school. So that means that we had to go to her school. We've had to talk with what their school policy is. How many days can she miss? Will she be able to make up final exams if she misses all of those? How is that going to work? So you've got to deal with that. And you have to face the possibility that, oh my gosh, I might have to leave some of my children or all of my children at home because your children are not a necessity for completing the adoption. I do not want to leave her at home. Even though she's older, I don't want to leave her at home. So, we've been doing everything that we can to make sure that she is able to go. But, if it comes down to it, sometimes you have to leave children with other family members, friends, if they're old enough, to say, okay, well, it's your senior year of high school, you've got to finish. You're old enough, you can drive, you're responsible, or you hope that they're responsible. and that you can leave them. So timing can be really sticky, and sometimes you just have to flow with it. Another timing issue, and I think I mentioned this in the last video, but here it is. We're 3 to 6 weeks away from going, and because we don't have our actual encuentro date, our actual travel date, that means that we can't get plane tickets. We can't get hotel reservations. There's nothing that we can actually set up yet. We can't even really communicate with Paula's school and say, hey, this is actually when we're looking at being gone. What can we do to be prepared for that? So we won't know those dates until 2 to 3 weeks before we're leaving. Well, max 2 to 4 weeks, possibly 4 weeks. So that means that plane tickets are going to be more expensive, hotel reservations are going to be more expensive. It's just going to be harder to plan things at that time. But since there's nothing that anybody can do about that, I mean, I can push our agency, I can have them call Colombia and be like, okay, they'll be like, until we get that Article 5, there's no way we can plan anything. So, since there's nothing anybody can do about it, there's no point in being stressed and super worried about that aspect of it, as annoying and frustrating as it is. So that is one of those things that you have to say, well, there's no planning that we can do for that. We just have to set that aside for now, set that part of the planning on the shelf. And as soon as we get that Article 5 and they give us that encuentro date, then boom, we hit the road running. So the next big milestone is getting that Article 5. Then we'll get our encuentro date, and then we will be heading off to Colombia. So I want to thank everyone who does come and listen and subscribe and has commented. Oh my goodness, the comments have meant a lot, because it helps me. I mean, as much as I want to give to the community, it helps me in knowing that I'm not just talking to myself, and it helps me feel included in that community, because part of this is, yes, me sharing my experience, but also receiving that feedback from other people that, I'm just not doing this all by myself, that this is a big crazy thing I'm doing all by myself, and I'm experiencing these weird things by myself. So I appreciate people who have commented. And also, subscribe, because we're going to be going to Colombia soon. And you're not going to want to miss our trip to Colombia and seeing all this stuff. I'm going to be taking this with me on the road. So we'll go first to, where are we going? So if you want to know where we're going to Medellin, Colombia first. Then we'll be headed over to Bogota, Colombia, and we'll be in La Mesa. So those 3 locations, and all the things that happen, because in Colombia, there's the actual adoption process doesn't stop once you leave the States. It keeps going once you get there. And yes, there'll be things that we'll be doing together as a family, just fun things, but there's also going to be all of the other adoption things that we will be doing. All right, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.